Corsola was never shown much love in the Pokémon franchise. Often forgotten about by players and Game Freak itself, it finally got some love in Generation 8, but it had to die in order for Game Freak to give it that attention. I've been challenged to see just how quickly I can beat Pokémon Crystal with a Corsola. Let's see if there are any upsides to the little coral that could. And starting off this challenge, we have 6 rules. The time will start when I walk away from Professor Elm after receiving the starter Pokémon. Only the challenge Pokémon may be used in battle. No items in battle except balls to catch HM friends. No evasion increasing TMs. No intentional glitches or exploits. No rare candies until red. And the timer may be paused to give myself a break or some thinking time. I've used the Universal Pokémon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Corsola, the reason being that the starter will then have Chikorita for the playthrough, and Chikorita's grass type is 4 times super effective against the little coral that could, so hopefully that won't be an issue. Now Professor Elm is telling us that Mr. Pokémon has something that he has discovered, and while he is busy in his laboratory, we are going to take on the challenge for him. So we pick our starter. Elm tells us it's a great Pokémon too, but I'm sure he says that to all Pokémon. And then he gives us our instructions. We've got to head to Mr. Pokémon's house. We can heal it with that item, and the challenge has now begun. You can see the timer going in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. On the left hand side you see the move set, and on the right hand side you see the Pokemon, the current moves, the base stat totals, the resets, and the timer. Now our first battle is with a Hoot-Hoot, and Hoot-Hoot is only level 3 and we are already having issues dealing damage. We're very much chipping away at these Pokemon, so it could be a struggle. And here in Mr. Pokemon's house, you can see that he's telling us about an egg he has discovered, and Professor Oak is conveniently there to give us the Pokédex, and that means we are able to travel around the Johto region and collect our badges. So we get a heal from Mr. Pokemon, and Professor Elm tells us that a Pokemon has been stolen, and on our way back to New Bark Town we see the suspect. It's the rival 3 question marks, and he's got the Chikorita. It growls at us, and that means our attack is lowered even still. So we are just chipping away. We're not taking much damage, but we are chipping, and it is going to be a slog in the early game. Tackle only has 35 base power. Now on the way to Violet City we did catch a Bellsprout that is going to be used for Cut and Flash, and you join us here in the gym. We're taking on the first gym trainer, and again we're not taking much damage, but we're not dealing much damage either, and that is definitely the case for the second gym trainer as well with the Pidgey. We miss a few times, which means we have to eat our berry in order to stay alive and actually complete this battle, and that will come in quite vital later on, the fact that we wasted a berry here. But good old Corsola, it does just about manage to knock out the gym trainer, and I think why not give the gym leader a go. We aren't exactly at a high level, we're only level 10, and then I realised Falkner's signature move is Mud Slap, which not only lowers our accuracy, but because we're rock type, it's super effective as well. So we're taking 3 damage per turn, and that just makes every fight an uphill battle. We gain a level off the Pidgey, and that is still not enough, because as you can see we are missing every single turn. I try resetting a few times to see if it gets any better, but it is the same story every single time. I get mud slapped, my accuracy drops, and then I'm hitting the wall, I'm hitting the ceiling, I'm hitting everything but his Pokemon. And that means by the time we get to Pidgeotto, we don't have enough health to even tank mud slaps to give us a chance at tackling, even if we hit every single one. I give it another go here, and it's again the same story. There's just something about having a Corsola at this point in the game. You are walled between Sprout Tower and the first gym. So I've not taken on Sprout Tower at this point. However, after struggling with Falkner a couple more times, I think enough is enough. I need more levels, and Sprout Tower might be the way to go in the end. So we go into Sprout Tower, and our first opponent has a level 3 Bellsprout. Now I've got to battle everyone because I need the experience. And we miss a tackle, we hit a tackle, we get hit, we use our berry again, we knock out the first Bellsprout, but the second Bellsprout does indeed, no, I beg your pardon, the third Bellsprout does indeed knock us out. Just because we keep on missing. I don't know if I need to find a pair of glasses for this Corsola, but it's an on-running theme, reset after reset, but I refuse to be defeated by 3 level 3 Bellsprout, because this Corsola is level 11. It should have no problem whatsoever in taking on Pokemon, even at a 4 times type disadvantage. You can see in the next battle I do finally manage to break through and get through the first trainer in Sprout Tower. Now I'm not going to torture you with all the other Pokemon, so we'll go straight to Sage Lee, and we have no chance. Vine Whip is taking us out quite spectacularly. We can't get through the second Bellsprout to even get to the Hoot Hoot. I give it a couple of goes just to see if the RNG is any better. But again, it's the same story. We are walled. We are stuck between 2 hard places at the moment with the Bellsprout and Falconer here. So I decide I want to try and move on. Let's try and take Falconer out. Let's just keep hitting and rolling the dice, and eventually we might just get lucky. So after a few more resets, I'm feeling a little bit deflated at this point, but I'm persevering. Perseverance is the key at this point in the game. We have Bubble, which is a stab move, but only does 20 power. We have Tackle, which is 35, and because of our base stat distribution, that means they're dealing pretty much the same amount of damage. I make it through the first Pidgey on this battle, but Mudslap again is doing the same thing. It's just lowering our accuracy and whittling us down to the point where we cannot take out that Pidgeotto. I give it another attempt, 17 resets at this point and 20 minutes in the game. This is one of the slowest starts to a game I have had in a very long time. Mudslap is causing us to miss. I try Bubble because it's got 100% accuracy, and yet that doesn't make any difference. We are still missing. Those 5% I thought might be the key, but in this instance, we just keep getting knocked down. No matter what we do, our Coral is struggling, but I keep throwing the dice. I just want to get that bit of RNG because I am stuck in Violet City and I don't want to be here any longer. 18 resets in, I Bubble, I get a critical hit, and this could be the run. This could be the one to finally get us out of Violet City and into the rest of the game. We miss, we use a berry, we get another hit off, we get another hit off again. Our accuracy is through the floor, but somehow we managed to defeat Falconer in 22 minutes. We've got our first badge. I really hope the rest of the run doesn't take this long, because at 22 minutes a badge, I'll be here until next week. So we get a call from Professor Elm, and we get the egg, and I go straight to the Ilex Forest as quickly as possible. I set the game to night so that I could catch a Psyduck. Psyduck can learn Strength, Surf, Waterfall, and Whirlpool, and it is a really good HM friend in this game. We go into the Slowpoke well next, and we take out the Grunts. Not too much issue at all here, because none of them has a ground move, and they cannot hit us for very hard damage indeed. So we take on the final Grunt here, we knock out the Coughing, we get poisoned, but our good friend Kurt gives us a heal as soon as we leave, so we can go straight to Bugsy. Bugsy is going to be intimidating. He has a Metapod, a Kakuna, and a Scyther. The 2 Cocoon Pokemon shouldn't be an issue, but the Scyther could very well be. As he starts the Fury Cutter, it's only 95% accurate, and we are going to be trying to roll the dice yet again. This is another gym where RNG needs to be in our favour. It didn't happen first time, and it didn't happen second time either. The RNG just really does not like us. I try again with the Scyther, making it through at almost full health, and it's the same story. He gets all the Fury Cutters off, critical hits us, and destroys us. We try again, and at this point I'm thinking I just need him to miss once. But he doesn't. He keeps on hitting us. The Fury Cutter going over and over. I try recovering mid-battle to see if that helps. To see Fury Cutter misses, but he's dealing 40 HP in one turn at this point. I try Bubble again, try and slow it down, just try anything I can. He misses here, and I think I'm in with a chance. However, it's not meant to be. I just barely do too little damage, so I try and try and try again. At reset 25 in the entire run, I'm still struggling. I get recover off twice, he misses Fury Cutter, and this could be it. This could be the time that I finally take down that godforsaken Scyther. And I do, and I think I've beaten Bugsy, maybe there's a chance I can beat the rival. So I get my badge, I leave the gym as quickly as I possibly can, I heal, and then I talk to the rival. He's got a Bayleaf this time, and that is going to be quite scary. My strongest power move is still Bubble at this point, and that is not doing much damage at all. He sends out Bayleaf and OHKOs us with a very strong critical hit Razor Leaf. I don't even bother again, I just get on the grind. I need to get to level 25. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes to get to level 25, but it is worth it, just so that I can increase my power. Bubble Beam isn't going to be super effective against the Bayleaf, but it's going to be an awful lot more damage, more than triple the damage I am currently dealing, and I have a higher level, so I try again. At reset 27, he sends out the Ghastly, I Bubble Beam and OHKO it. That's a much better start. The Bayleaf's out next, I Bubble Beam because it's the best I can do. He reflects, which was a poor choice on his part. He keeps on poisoning us, but we're through the Bayleaf, and we OHKO the Zubat. We are through Azalea Town. We have a stronger move, and the game is opening up. I'm starting to feel like I have some way of doing something with this Coral. For some reason, they let it learn Headbutt as well in Generation 2. So I pick up the Headbutt TM, and then I go straight to the Underground. I try out my new moves on Super Nerd Eric with his Grimer. Bubble Beam, OHKOs, it is glorious to be able to one-hit KO Pokemon, even if they are 15 levels underneath me. We then get to Pokemon Isaac with his Lickitung. We Bubble Beam and OHKO. Once again, this is feeling good. And we pick up the coin case because we are about to get our final 2 Pokemon in the Johto region. But before we do, we somehow manage to give Corsola a haircut. And then we go up into the game corner, we buy 100 coins from the game. And then we go and buy an Abra. Abra is going to be useful for teleporting, it's budget fly, and that's what we're going to be using it for. We pick up Kenya so that when we can get fly, we are able to fly straight away. And then we go up to the north and speak to the lady whose sister can deal with a Sudowoodo. I rearrange my party to make sure it's in the correct order. I teleport back and I go straight to Whitney. I miss all of the trainers barring the mandatory one, and we don't OHKO, I beg your pardon, the Clefairy. We hit it in 2, but the Clefairy misses, and the cow starts to roll. We do half damage with our first Bubble Beam. She misses the second rollout, and that was a very easy Whitney fight. She cries, she tells us she's not going to give us a badge, and then she does give us the plain badge. So now we are able to get up into Ecruteak City, and it is the turn of the Kimono Girls. Our first little gauntlet of the game, and the Flareon is no issue at all. We then get to the Espeon, we get a Sand Attack, but we don't miss. Onwards and upwards to the Umbreon, and it's the same story, Sand Attack, but we don't miss. Then we have the Vaporeon. We have to headbutt it because we have no other option. We kill it in 2, and then we have the Jolteon. I thought the Jolteon was going to be scarier than it was. We get paralysed, but we still get Surf. And now it's time for Rival 3 already. We are racing through now. Rival 3 starts with a Haunter. He gets off a Curse, which means we're on a clock. We manage to Surf, and then we Surf the Magnemite to OHKO it. Bayleaf's next. We headbutt it. We get hit by Curse, it flinches, we headbutt again, we get hit by Curse and it flinches again. 3 hits on the Bayleaf, and then it is as simple as surfing away the Zubat. The rival battle this time much smoother. So I go straight away to Morty to try and take on his gym. I've got a lot of time to catch up at this point, and there is no point in dilly-dallying about. We OHKO the Ghastly, and then we don't manage to hit the Haunter first. But we do get Cursed, and we do knock it out. We get Hypnosis, though, by the Gengar, and it's game over for this reset. Dream Eater and Curse is chipping away at us. We have no hope, but the second run goes an awful lot smoother. Ghastly down in 1, and then we have the Haunter. It uses Nightshade instead of Curse, and that means we are no longer on a clock. Hypnosis misses us twice in a row. We take out the Haunter, and then we take out the final Pokemon. And Leader Morty is defeated, and we get the Fog Badge. That means we can now use Surf outside of battle, and we will go straight to Olivine City. We will pick up Strength. This person tells us we look like a lightweight, so we're going to give Strength to our Psyduck a little bit later on. In fact, we're going to give it to our Psyduck right now. So Psyduck learnt Strength, and now we are on to our first major gauntlet up to the lighthouse. We've got to rescue a sick Ampharos, and we battle trainer after trainer after trainer with no problem at all. It's feeling good with the Corsola. Pick up a Super Repel here, and then we speak to Jasmine, who tells us we need to get some medicine for poor Amphi. We then pick up a rare candy, one of our 10 rare candies we're getting in this battle. We leave the lighthouse. We surf on Corsola over to Cyanwood City. We retrieve the secret potion, and then we try Chuck straight away. Chuck leads with a Primeape, which should be no issue whatsoever, and we Oko it with Surf, but the Poliwrath could be dangerous. We have to headbutt it because that's our only option. Hypnosis misses, he uses Mind Reader, and then we outspeed to knock it out, so we will take on Jasmine immediately afterwards. We Oko the Magnemite. We Oko her second Magnemite, and that just leaves Steelix. We outspeed, it's super effective, and we Oko, and that lets us go to the Lake of Rage. We have beaten Jasmine, this game is speeding up, and we haven't reset since Morty. We've gone through 2 gyms with very little pain. I pick up the rare candy in the northwest of the Lake of Rage. I cut this tree here, I cut the wrong tree here, but I am going to the house to get Hidden Power. Hidden Power is a random type based off your DVs. I don't know what type it is at the moment, but I'm not going to find out until after I have defeated this Gyarados. Dragon Rage deals 40 damage and it uses it twice in a row, but fortunately it uses Leah on the 3rd move, and I'm able to take it down first time. I talk to Lance to stick my nose in other people's business, and I happily agree to help him at the Mahogany Hideout. But before I do, I want to pick up the rare candy from Violet City, and I want to take my revenge on Sprout Tower. So I speak to the Elder again, and this time I am in the level 40s. I should have no issue whatsoever with this. So I take down the Bellsprout, I take down Bellsprout number 2, and finally the Hoot Hoot. I use Hidden Power, trying to figure out what type it was, and got no information there. HM5 is Flash, which I will be teaching to the Bellsprout. And into the Rocket Hideout, it's another gauntlet, and we take out trainer after trainer with no issue. Rocket 1, 2, and then the Hidden Power tells us it's Fire type with that Magnemite. Rocket 3's down, we learn Ancient Power. Rocket 4, 5, 6, and the Executive all down. The next Executive is down, and it's time to take on the Electrodes. 1, 2, and 3. The 3rd one goes boom, and that is the rocket section all done and dusted. Just over an hour and 20 to get 6 badges on the rocket done. It is quite a slow game still, but we are making progress. So we take on Price straight away. We have the type advantage over him as we are rock, he is ice. We have to headbutt the seal, but it takes 2 hits. Icy Wind drops our speed. And then comes the Dugong. I have 1 Ancient Power left. I decide to use it against the Dugong because his Piloswine is also weak to water. So we take him out very, very swiftly. And now we have the long, arduous part of the game to come. We have to do the Rocket Hideout. We get the Icy Wind TM, and I also try and find out what Price's secret is there. We get a call from Professor Elm telling us something strange is going on at the radio station. Before I take on the rocket, I pick up a nugget and a rare candy just south of Goldenrod. I fly to Azalea Town at this point as well, because I realise I could get the Rain Dance TM and also a King's Rock from in Slowpoke Well. So I do just that, getting the King's Rock first and then getting the Rain Dance TM. One of the few Pokemon that can really utilise weather to its benefit. I escape rope out, and it is time to do the rocket segment. One of the slogs of this game, it's slow and tedious and arduous. All the Pokemon are low level, so I just show you here. Defeat, 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 defeat. Take on the Executive with 6 Pokemon. The coughing goes down. The next coughing, the next wheezing, the coughing. Everything goes down very quickly. And we're told that the real director is in the basement. But we get ambushed by the rival for yet another rival fight. I'm a little bit worried about this one. I have some trouble in some challenge runs. But let's see how this one goes. I Ancient Power the Golbat to take it out of the equation. Magnemite goes down to a Hidden Power Fire now that I've got the Fire type coverage. Meganium also goes down in 2 hits to Hidden Power Fire. That is already worth its weight in gold, having that Hidden Power type. Haunter uses Mean Look instead of Curse, so we are not on a clock. and then Sneasel goes down to a Surf. So he was defeated very, very easily. And now we have to carry on with the gauntlet of trainers. I'm not going to show you every battle because that is quite boring. However, we do speed through this section very, very quickly. We get a max ether, we take out this next grunt with his Grimer and his Wheezing, OHKOing everything at this point, and the final grunt in the underground goes down in much the same way. We speak to the director who gives us a card key. We also pick up TM35 Sleep Talk, and then we go shopping, because why not go shopping in a crisis, eh? We pick up our return TM. That is something which is going to be very, very handy, and it's also the reason we play on a Sunday in-game. Now that I've done retail therapy, I can go back to the radio tower and finish off this business. So we go through and enter the card key. We save the game here just to be safe. And that grunt is very confused as to why the card key door opened. We knock him out with his Raticate, and we go up another level. And it's much the same story. He keeps whittling them up, and I keep knocking them down. Ancient Power takes out the Golbat, and the fortress has been demolished. Only 2 more battles to go with this rocket segment. We take on the rocket executive we saw at the Mahogany hideout. The Arbok goes down, and now we have the final rocket of the entire game. He sets out a Houndour. We have choices against the Houndour. I use Surf there. Coughing next. Surf again. OHKOs the Coughing. And finally he has the Houndoom, which does outspeed but does barely any damage. And we have beaten the rockets. And this long, tedious section is done. We can get on and get our 8th badge. We get the Clear Bell, which we are not going to be using in this run. And with that we can make our way through the ice path, navigating the ice puzzles quite well to pick up HM7, and then we also pick up a PP Up as well as TM44 in this location. They are useful items. The ice path is a bit of a treasure trove, and I go straight away to Claire and her Dragonair. We headbutt the first Dragonair, it flinches, we headbutt again to knock it out quite nicely. And it's much the same for second Dragonair. The Thunder Wave misses, so it's a wasted turn by her. Dragonair number 3 is out. It flinches, so we don't get paralysed for the Kingdra. And we have to headbutt. Our Hidden Power is going to do nothing. Our Surf is going to do nothing. And Ancient Power is going to do nothing. And Claire is defeated. But she doesn't give us a badge straight away. She throws a tantrum not too dissimilar to Whitney. And we have to go to the Dragon's Den. We go to the Dragon's Den, answer a few questions, she gives us a TM and she gives us a badge, and then tells us we can take on the Pokémon League, and that is east of where we started in New Bark Town. So we go east, we ignore Professor Elm's phone call, and we get told we are in the Kanto region, and the first thing we do in the Kanto region is pick up yet another rare candy. These are going to come in super useful later on for the red fight. So we pick up TM37 for Sandstorm, and we also have a cheeky little heal as we make our way up the pre-Victory Road, which is the only place we are going to see trainers in this part of Kanto. For some reason, Victory Road in Johto does not have trainers. I've never been quite sure why they made Victory Road so minimalistic, but it does make my life easier trying to speed through it. So we go through Victory Road, we go up the ladder, and we get ourselves the Earthquake TM. We're going to replace a move straight away with Earthquake, and in this instance we are going to choose to replace Headbutt with Earthquake because we need a strong physical move, and Earthquake has much better coverage. So we replace Headbutt with the Earthquake, and then we take on our final rival fight. Let's see if we have any trouble with the Meganium. 4 times weak to Meganium, so I am a little bit worried. We take a very pathetic 2 damage from the Sneasel. Magneton's up next, and it's 4 times weak to ground, so we can give Earthquake a go here to knock it out straight away. And out comes Meganium. We have Hidden Power Fire, which is very handy. We do over half damage, it uses Reflect, but that's fine. We're only going to be using special moves from here on out, apart from the Haunter, which is weak to Earthquake. We Surf on the Kadabra to take it out, And finally we have the Golbat, which goes down to 2 Ancient Powers because I forgot about the Reflect. And the rival was defeated, and we shall never hear from him again. And now it's time for the Elite Four. We heal up our Pokemon. We say thank you to our HM friends after buying just 4 full restores. We're going to need all of them or we're not. It's as simple as that. And we deposit our HM friends. We say thank you to Kenya, Bellsprout, Abra and Psyduck for their help in this run so far. And we'll take a look at our Pokemon stats. We're level 57 and we have some decent moves actually. Surf, Earthquake, Hidden Power and Ancient Power. Decent attack, very good defense and special defense, and very good special attack as well. Speed, however, is lagging behind as we take on Will. Will starts with a Xatu so we can Ancient Power him away for the first victory. Executor could be a bit of an issue, but we do have the Fire-type move. He doesn't have any Grass-type moves, so he uses Psychic there. Out comes Slowbro. We have to just Earthquake it. We have to try and get it down as many moves as we can. 3 is how many moves it takes in that instance. He sends out the next Xatu. It confuses us, but we break through the confusion to hit the Xatu. And finally is the Jinx. Jinx is weak to rock, which is why he left it till last. A Psychic does minimal damage and we knock her out. Next up is Koga, and it's much of a muchness. We OHKO the Ariados. Fortress is out next, and I use Hidden Power Fire because of that 4 times damage on the Fortress. Muck comes out, we have Earthquake to deal with the Muck. It OHKOs the Muck there, and then we have Venomoth. I for some reason forgot that Venomoth isn't weak, I should say, to the Earthquake, so it takes a couple of moves, and we have Ancient Power that hits the Crobat, but doesn't OHKO. The Crobat is double teamed, but we managed to hit all our attacks barring one. So a cheeky little Surf will take him out. Bruno's next, and Bruno could be dangerous. We Earthquake the Hitmontop, and we Earthquake again to make sure it is down. Hitmonlee comes out, and I Surf. He uses Foresight, which was quite weird on his part. I Surf again, and the Quick Claw comes into play. Mach Punch on the Hitmonchan means we take a fair bit of damage. And out next is the Machamp. Machamp doesn't go down in one hit, and Cross Chop hits us for huge damage. It's all about outspeeding the Onix, which we do. 4 times weak to water means Onix is down and we survive with just 7 HP as we go and speak to Karen. It's time for us to see her manager as we Surf on the Umbreon. Sand attack fails. I decide to do an Earthquake. We get confused. We break through the confusion this time. Vileplume next. We need to take it out as quickly as possible. 2 hits for the Vileplume. We break through the confusion and we avoid being paralyzed. Gengar's next, it uses Curse, so we are on a clock. We take out the Gengar with Earthquake. Murkrow next. We have Ancient Power to take out the Murkrow in 1 hit, so we don't take Curse damage. And finally, Houndoom goes down in 1 hit. We are level 61, and we have beaten the Elite Four, but Lance is to come. He sends out Gyarados. I use Ancient Power, and don't OHKO it. He uses Flail, which doesn't do much. I use Hidden Power just to chip away. Out comes Dragonite number 1. We get paralysed. He uses Thunder. I use Ancient Power. And again, don't OHKO, which surprised me. I use Ancient Power on Dragonite number 2 and OHKO that one. Dragonite number 3 comes out. It uses Outrage. I use Ancient Power. And at this point, it's worth a reset. I come in with a fresh moveset. I replace Ancient Power with Rollout. I start building up the damage on the Gyarados and take it out in 2 hits. Dragonite's next. He Thunder Waves us, but I had a Paralysed Cure Berry just to outwit him. We take out the Dragonite. We get paralysed by the 3rd Dragonite, but we OHKO it with Rollout. Then comes Charizard. We are fully paralysed on the first turn, but the Charizard can't really hurt us. 4 times weak to Rock means it goes down to a single Rollout. Outrage hits us. Rollout doesn't OHKO, but we do manage to take out the Dragonite. That just leaves Aerodactyl. Rock Slide takes us down to 7. But it's lucky 7 in this run, and we have beaten Lance with 7 HP and a paralysis. Our time through the league is coming up. But first of all, we need to get interviewed by Professor Oak and Mary. But Lance decides it's too busy, too much hustle and bustle. And our league time is set as soon as the computer turns on. And our league time for the Corsola is 1 hour, 52 minutes and 7 seconds. The Johto part of the game's done, but we have Kanto left to go. We get a call from Professor Elm. I go indoors so it doesn't embarrass him that he's calling when he could have just left. He gives us an SS ticket to get out to Kanto, and I also receive a Master Ball from him as well. So now we have to slog our way to Cherry Grove to retrieve our Pokemon, and we fly to Mahogany Town because we've got a couple of final bits to do in Johto. First thing we do is surf over to the middle of Mount Mortar, where we pick up our next rare candy. We escape rope out of Mount Mortar. For some reason I decided to surf into the next room, but that takes us into the Whirl Islands to get our next rare candy. We escape rope out, end up in front of the Pokemon Center at Olivine, and we then take the SS Aqua, not the SS Anne, but the SS Aqua, the fast ship, over to Kanto. So we take it very, very quickly indeed. We go down some stairs, suddenly we're outside a door, and then we end up in Kanto. First thing we've got to do in Kanto is fly to Vermilion City's Pokemon Center. It's just a cheeky little time save there. And we're going to get our next rare candy by talking to the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. He's going to talk about his Rapidash, but I don't really have time, so I mash through everything. He gives us the rare candy, and I go straight to the gym. We've got 8 more gyms to do, and we want to get them done as quickly as possible. So we take on Lieutenant Surge. We are weak to electric Pokemon. Let's see if our weakness has any issues. Raichu misses Thunder, so we are able to knock it out. Out comes Magneton. We have a move that's 4 times good against it, so the Magneton goes down straight away. Electabuzz is next. It uses Light Screen to increase its Spadef, but we have no issues taking it out. Electrode double teams and we miss an Earthquake, but we hit our second Earthquake, and out comes the second Electrode. It's much of a muchness, but we hit Earthquake on the first turn, and that just leaves nothing apart from going to Sabrina, who we take on. We get Sand attacked, and that means that we will miss a few moves, but Surf takes out the Espeon in 2 hits. Mr. Mime is up next, and we miss a Surf. He Baton Passes for some reason. We hit Surf, she uses Hyper Potion, and we hit Surf again, but we're not quite OHKOing the Alakazam, and our accuracy drop is not helping us here. We have 47 HP as we go into the Mr. Mime. I'm out of PP, I miss moves, and I have to reset. Second fight goes much, much better. The Sand attack fails on the first turn. She uses Psychic on the second turn, so we knock out the Espeon. Mr. Mime is next. It uses Barrier, and then will Baton Pass into Alakazam. But we are dealing with special damage, so the Barrier doesn't do anything. She stalls me a little bit with Recover, and then it's just taking out the last bit of Mr. Mime, which we do, and we have beaten Sabrina. Up next is Cerulean City, and we've got a little bit extra plotline tacked on at the edge of this. So we'll go into the power plant here. We'll speak to the manager, who will tell us that someone has stolen a machine part. We get told by the guard that we need to cooperate, so we teleport back to Cerulean City. And we go into the gym. There we find our final Rocket Grunt. It's the Bye Bye Go Go Man, the best character in the game, so we're going to give him the limelight for this first video. We take him on, and he's very, very easy to beat. As a Team Rocket Grunt, he uses a Golbat, only level 30. We are more than double its level. A single rollout takes it out. He tells us where he has hidden the machine part. It's in the gym, so we are going to go straight back to the gym after telling him Team Rocket has disbanded. We'll see him in Unova later on. We pick up the machine parts and we go into the power plant again. To give it to the manager, he gives us Zap Cannon, which in our case is useless as Corsola can't learn it. But then we take on Nugget Bridge and we fly back to Cerulean City. We take on Nugget Bridge and we speak to Misty, we save next to her, and then we have what could be a tricky battle. She sends out Golduck. We Earthquake, and it's going to be a 2-hit on the Golduck. Quagsire comes up next. We use Surf and OHKO the Quagsire. Starmie's out. We use Rollout to try and build up for the Lapras, because the Lapras could perish Song. We break through the confusion, our Quick Claw hits, and then we hit the Lapras first, dealing huge damage to Oko it with rollout. And we get the Cascade badge and it's straight onto Erica. Erica is grass type, but we have Hidden Power Fire now, so Tangela goes down in one hit. Same story for the Victory Bell, and out comes the Blossom. Hidden Power takes it down in 2, but she uses Sunny Day for some reason, which only boosts our Hidden Power. Meaning we Oko the next turn, Jumpluff is out, it uses Giga Drain, does very minimal damage actually. And we take out Erica. We get the Rainbow Badge, and we get Giga Drain, which is another TM that we cannot learn. But we are grateful for Erica for the battle, and we make our way to Vermilion City. We have our final Pokemon encounter of the game. This is the Snorlax that we're going to catch, because we want its leftovers, so we just use the Master Ball to catch it straight away. No sense in trying to whittle its HP down. We get its Pokédex entry, and we immediately remove the leftovers from the Snorlax. It's had enough of them, and we replace the Quick Claw with the leftovers on Corsola. We make our way through Diglett's tunnel, and then we take on Brock's gym. The Latios trainer has a Sand Slash, which goes down in one hit. I can't see us having any issues at all with Brock's gym. We're just going to use Earthquake for the Pokemon that are vaguely resistant to water, and Surf on everything else. So Surf the Graveler goes down in one hit. Kabutops is next. Earthquake's super effective, and with critical hit just to rub salt in the wound. Surf on the Rhyhorn. And then out comes the Omastar. We Earthquake the Omastar. We gain a level from that. We get to a very nice level indeed. And finally we have the Onix. Onix goes down, and we have beaten Brock. And we are going to make our way even further forward in the Kanto region. We go to Cinnabar Island. A very, very somber place in this game. We speak to Blue, who is having a little bit of a moment to himself, contemplating the meaning of life. We pick up a hidden rare candy, and then we make our way towards Blaine. Blaine is in the Seafoam Islands, and he is going to be very, very easy indeed, as he is using fire types, and we are water and rock. Magcar goes down in one. Magmar's out next. Same story, Surf takes it out. A Rapidash is the final Pokemon. It Fire Blasts and burns us, but that doesn't matter to us. We beat Blaine, and we go straight to Janine, healing the burn en route. She's got the lowest level Pokemon of all gym leaders in Kanto. Crobat goes down in one hit. Weezing's out next. We are still rolling and get badly poisoned. We don't take any toxic damage because we knocked out the Weezing. Don't take any toxic damage from the next Weezing. We use Rollout to super effective kill the Ariados. And then we just use another Rollout for the Venomoth. Janine is defeated, and we go straight to Blue. Blue sends out a Pidgeot, so I start rolling. Pidgeot goes down in just 2 hits with the Rollout. And then he sends out Executor. Executor could be scary again. He takes in Sunlight to use Solar Beam, but we knock him out before he's able to use it. Alakazam's next, deals quite a bit of damage with the Psychic, but Rollout takes it out. Rhydon's next. We finish our Rollout just in time to use Surf. We take Surf out in 1 hit. And finally we have the Gyarados, so we start rolling again, because that's the best option. We miss our first Rollout. We miss our second Rollout. We miss our third Rollout. He's dealing quite big damage. Hydro Pump is doing quite a lot, but 2 Rollouts takes us out. Arcanine's up next. Extreme Speed does nothing, and Rollout, the super effective move, takes out Arcanine, and we have beaten all 16 gyms in the game. That just leaves Red to go. So we leave the Viridian Gym, we fly to Pallet Town, and we speak to Professor Oak, who will tell us that first of all our Pokédex is a bit naff, we should try catching more, but he's also going to let us go to Mount Silver. So we will leave his lab, and suddenly we are in Mount Silver. We take the route, and we fly as soon as we're back in Johto into the Silver Cave. Dip in and out of the Pokemon Center so we can TP back as we're going back into Kanto to pick up our final rare candy. We get rare candy number 10, and now it is time to take on Red. But first we get interrupted by a Tangela. We take on Red by going through Mount Silver. He's at the very, very top. I nearly used an escape rope there, which would have been bad. I get all sorts of confused because my Pokemon are in the wrong order. So we use Flash, we navigate through Silver Cave, which is an awful lot smaller as an adult as it felt as a kid. It's just 3 rooms to make it up to Red. We save in front of Red because this could go wrong. We have one final challenge, and that is Red. I start with an Earthquake, I take him down to Yellow, he uses a full restore. Another Earthquake takes him down to Yellow, but Thunder hits for massive damage, so I try again. He sends out the Pikachu again. I Surf it, but I get Charmed, so I reset. They say 3rd time's the charm, and is that the instance this time? Well, Charm hits. Earthquake takes him down to Yellow, he full restores. I use another Earthquake, take him into the Yellow again, he full restores again. Earthquake hits. He misses a Thunder, and we're on to the Espeon. Espeon uses Reflect, so now my attacks are going to do very, very little indeed. A couple of Surfs aren't enough to take it out. A Psychic takes me down into the Red. I think he's going to send out Snorlax, but he sends out Venusaur. He takes in Sunlight. Hidden Power Fire does barely anything at all, and he takes me down. I keep trying. I'm level 76. I've put Rollout as my 4th move now. I get to the Espeon in yellow health, and it takes me out. I try again. I am persevering. I really don't want to have to grind much. So at level 76, Charm fails. I take out the Pikachu in 1 hit. I'm at full health for the Espeon. Espeon uses Reflect. I use a Surf. He uses Psychic. I'm in green health for the Venusaur. And then I misclick and use Surf. I try a Hidden Power, but it's all in vain. Even in green health, the Solar Beam is enough to take me out. I try again at level 76, I get Charmed, and I take out the Pikachu in 1 hit with Surf. Espeon comes out, uses Reflect, my Surf takes it into the Yellow. Psychic hits me for big damage as we get onto the Venusaur. I try Hidden Power, take it into the green. Solar Beam though knocks me out. In hindsight, I shouldn't have persevered so much at level 76, but I was determined to get a quick time. And in the end, my hubris there is the reason why this took a little bit longer than it may already have done. I'm in the green health again for the Venusaur. That is becoming quite consistent. I use Rain Dance thinking it will prevent his Solar Beam from hitting in 2 hits. But I was wrong and mistaken, so I've learnt something about Generation 2 here. Charm misses this time as the Earthquake takes out Pikachu in 1 hit. Full health for the Espeon. I Rain Dance thinking I'm outsmarting him here. Psychic takes me into low green. I get back up, but Psychic hits hard as I take on the Venusaur. And then Venusaur just uses Giga Drain anyway, so that was pointless. I try at level 81 this time. I OHKO the Pikachu with Surf. Espeon comes out and I Rain Dance. Psychic hits me for big damage, and I can't even OHKO the Espeon with Rain Dance at this level. I try a couple more times. Charm fails this time. Earthquake gets off, and a critical hit just to be mean. I decide not to Rain Dance this time and Surf a couple of times because there's no point in even trying to take it out in 1 hit at this level. I've replaced my 3rd move, Hidden Power, for Psychic. That takes Venusaur out to yellow, but not enough to knock it out. But I think I'm onto something by having Psychic as my 3rd move as I take out the Pikachu this time. Rain Dance on the Espeon. Psychic takes me down to 128. I almost OHKO the Espeon, it takes me into red. And I think it's going to be the same situation over and over again. I've got to grind. I decide to get to level 75 because that'll put me at level 85 with the rare candies. I reflect a bit, think about what I can do to change my moveset slightly, see if there's anything I can do differently. And there isn't really anything immediately springing to mind apart from getting a few more levels. But I have been pleasantly surprised with this Corsola. After a very rough start, he did so well between Morty and the end of Kanto, with only a couple of resets. But I'm at level 85 now. He misses the charm and I take out the Pikachu. Espeon is next. I decide to roll out for some reason here, thinking building up the damage might be a good strategy. But instead, all it does is take me into yellow for Venusaur. I do just over half with rollout, and a solar beam is enough to take me out. So I try again. Charm hits me this time, so I reset. Here we are, attempt number 68. Charm misses. Surf takes out the Pikachu in 1. Espeon's out next. I decide to Earthquake for some reason, not quite sure my thinking there, and then decide to Rain Dance, but a critical hit takes me out. Attempt number 69. Will it be a nice attempt for me? I get through the Pikachu as Charm fails. Espeon's next. I think about what I'm doing and I decide to Rain Dance. Psychic takes me into the green, but I OHKO the Espeon with a Rain Dance powered Surf. And I misclick. Not that it matters because Giga Drain took me out. Attempt number 70. Charm knocks my attack down. I knock out the Pikachu. Espeon takes me into low green as I take it out in a couple of Surfs. I don't quite make green health for the Venusaur as I Psychic it. I do over half damage, but Solar Beam takes me out. So I decide I need to go shopping. I need to go to the Celadon City Pokemart. I go up to the 3rd floor and buy myself a couple of TMs because I had a Brainwave. Solar Beam's a charging move, and on the 2nd turn I can use Protect, which just so happens to be TM17. I also buy a few more TM18s while I'm here, just in case I need them. Although I don't end up using them in the end, I don't think. I was considering getting Sandstorm as well, but instead I decided just to leave and make my way back to Silver Cave with my new strategy. Let's see how it goes at attempt number 71. Charm lowers my attack, so I decide to restart. Thunder misses, I hit a Surf. Take out the Pikachu. Espeon's next. Psychic hits. I Surf it. I take it into the yellow. Psychic hits again. I'm in yellow myself at this point now. Only in a medium yellow for the Venusaur. I hit Psychic. I Protect. I think I've outsmarted him, and he uses Giga Drain. But I keep persevering. Maybe if I'm at a higher level of health, he'll realise he can't one-hit with the Giga Drain and will try something else. Psychic takes me into the yellow almost. Second Psychic definitely takes me into the yellow, and I think it's the same situation as last time here. I Protect on the 1st turn for some reason, and I managed to hit Protect twice in a row. That means I can try hitting Psychic. I take it into the yellow. I Protect again as he tries to Solar Beam. He uses Giga Drain and critical hits me. Attempt number 74. Charm knocks down my attack. I knock out the Pikachu. Espeon's next. Reflect raises its defense, so my attack is useless, but I critical hit. I get to Venusaur with full health. He uses Solar Beam, but I critical hit. Snorlax is next. At this point I take a moment to think and decide to Surf, doing roughly a quarter damage. Body Slam paralyzes me though, and he uses Rest. This is a war of attrition at this point, so I've sped it up a little bit because this was painful. Snorlax couldn't take me out because of my leftovers, I couldn't take Snorlax out because of Rest, and both of us were just depleting our PP, and it felt like hours. I critical hit and got it to yellow. I was feeling hopeful, but then I just couldn't get it into the red, or even better, knock it out. But I keep trying, and eventually I realise that this battle isn't going to be won. But not after trying to use Earthquake a few more times. I reset. He sends out the Pikachu for attempt 75. Charm misses. I take out the Pikachu. That is becoming quite consistent. Reflect raises the defense, so I use a special attack. Psychic hits me and critical hits me, so I reset. Out comes the Pikachu. Charm misses for attempt 76. Espeon hits for quite a hard Psychic. Surf is going to be a 2-shot, but he critical hits. 77, here we go. Charm misses, Surf hits the Pikachu, and takes it out. Espeon next. Reflect raises the defense. I can 2-hit this Espeon. I'm in green health for the Venusaur. I'm at quite a good health as he takes in some sunlight. I can protect for the solar beam itself. I'm at almost full health, so he takes in sunlight again and I knock out the Venusaur. I'm back at the Snorlax. I'm as far as I've ever been at this point. Earthquake deals quite big damage. He uses Amnesia, so I try and drop his special defense with Psychic. Amnesia keeps raising it though, so I switch to Earthquake. I get him to red and he rests. Earthquake takes him down to around about a quarter. Snore does minimal damage. I take him down into the yellow. Snore does a little bit of damage again. Earthquake takes him to a sliver. I get paralyzed from Body Slam and he goes to sleep. That was the single worst feeling I've had in a challenge run so far. Almost knocking out the wall for him to regain all health. I'm fully paralysed an awful lot at this point. I'm slower than the Snorlax, but I keep persevering. I have seen the light. I have seen the end of this tunnel. I get him down to red again, and he goes to sleep because I'm slower because of the paralysis. I get frustrated at this point. I start wondering if I need to grind again, but I'm going to keep persevering. I reset. Pikachu comes out for attempt 84. Thunder misses. I take out the Pikachu. This is looking good so far. Reflect raises Espeon's defense as I take it out in a couple of hits, taking roughly a quarter damage from that Psychic. Venusaur next. He takes in Sunlight. I use Psychic to take him into the yellow. Protects for the Solar Beam. I'm at a good place health-wise, but he uses Giga Drain, taking me down to 12. I knock out the Venusaur, even though he did regain health. The Reflect has faded. I think this is my chance, and Body Slam knocks me out. Attempt number 85. Is this going to be the lucky one? Corsola comes out with Pikachu's Charm missing. Surf knocks it out in one. Espeon next. Reflect raises the defense. I take the Espeon out in a couple of hits with a quarter damage done to myself. Venusaur takes in Sunlight, so I use Psychic on the first turn. Comfortably in the yellow, protects for the second turn. I'm at 194. He takes in Sunlight and I knock out the Venusaur. Up comes Snorlax. Reflect fades, so I use an Earthquake. I get a critical hit to take him into the yellow. I hit again, I outspeed. Body Slam doesn't paralyze, and I take out the Snorlax. I'm further than I've ever been before as I go to the Blastoise. Surf takes out a little bit of my health. Surf takes out even more of my health. Surf takes me into the yellow as I almost knock out the Blastoise. We're both in red at this point as Earthquake knocks out the Blastoise. It's all about the Charizard. Leftovers gives me a little bit of health. I'm on 6 HP. But Surf knocks out the Charizard and I have beaten red at long last. With a time of 2 hours, 50 minutes and 55 seconds and a mammoth 85 resets, this little Coral has beaten the game. And my goodness, it was a marathon. So let's put Coral in the scrapbook. It's going the 2 hour 30 to 3 hour section of the scrapbook. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Claudio for suggesting this. I hope you've enjoyed watching as much as I've enjoyed making this challenge. And I'll see you all very, very soon.